Michael, here we are. Welcome to the show. Man, how does it feel to be Michael today?
It feels pretty great. And first and foremost, thank you so much for inviting me. And I'm really excited to be here chatting with you today. I am a full-time practicing gastroenterologist. I'm also a husband and a dad, and I am the CEO and founder of Better Physician Life Coaching, where I help physicians kind of feel more present at home and less annoyed at work, and sort of work through some of the balance issues that we all are always confronted with as we are kind of wearing all of the many hats that we wear, like I was just mentioning. And so that's a little bit about me. I am about a little over 15 years out of training. I am a hospital employed gastroenterologist, and I work in the suburbs of Chicago. Physician burnout is such a complex issue. I think for many physicians, we kind of signed up for a career before we really genuinely knew what was involved with the work that we were signing up for. And then in addition to that, I think, especially for me, so I started medical school 25 years ago, and medicine looked completely different. So the agreement that I thought I was signing when I enrolled in medical school, that's changed tremendously. It changed over the years that I was in my training, and it's changed even more since I've been out of training and working as an attending. And so I think there's that piece of it where the job that we thought we were signing up for doesn't look quite exactly like we thought it was going to. And then absolutely, I think that there is this piece where maybe some of us, myself included, went into medicine thinking like, here's a job where I can be in control, where I'm gonna be the boss. And then you get into it and you realize, well, actually, that's not the case. There are lots of other cooks in this kitchen. And so I think that all of these play a role in burnout. And certainly for me, my story does involve the quest for financial independence. I think as I was kind of moving through my medical career and wondering if this was something I could do for the rest of my life, I found the financial independence retirement early movement. And I kind of went just head first, really kind of plowed into, how can I pursue financial independence? And honestly, if I'm being honest, my drive that has, served me so well throughout my life, when I put it into financial independence and trying to figure out how to make it happen as fast as possible, it ended up just accelerating my burnout even more. I think as physicians, we have a ton of limiting beliefs. So, there is that knowledge base that holds us back. So for me, this was something that real estate wasn't something I felt particularly comfortable with. I didn't know a ton about it. And there was this limiting belief that like, oh, well, this isn't for me. And I think that had been kind of a pretty big piece of my just general, like how I thought through things. Until I found physician coaching in 2020, when I started to be able to examine what are those limiting beliefs, what are the things that are holding me back. And I think if we're looking back on that time where I'm looking at financial independence and kind of exploring what are my options, that would have been, a big piece for me, was thinking like, oh, this sounds complicated and I'm not sure I can figure it out. And what I have learned over the last 4 or 5 years as I have started tackling these limiting beliefs is that physicians are really smart. We are the type of people who, if there is something that we want to learn, we can figure it out. And I think giving ourselves the opportunity to explore the things that we're interested in with releasing the identities that are holding us back, there's so much that we can do. It was my experience as being the recipient of physician coaching, signing up for a coaching program where I was like, look, I am miserable. I don't know how much longer I can do this for. Something needs to change. And what is the thing that needs to change? And it turned out the thing that needed to change was me, except I had this belief that I couldn't change, right?
Yeah.
And so that was my journey with physician coaching. And what I loved about my journey was I learned so much about how I was holding myself back. There were all of these interests that I had, all of these things that I wanted to do, and I really wasn't allowing myself to do any of them. And so it was such a powerful journey for me. I decided, look, I want to learn more about coaching. And so I signed up for a coach certification program. I noticed that most of the physician coaches out there were female physicians. And I just thought, maybe there should just be some more male physicians out there talking about the power of this work. And what ended up happening is I created a business, which has really provided me so much fulfillment. Because, there's so many physicians are turning away from medicine. So many physicians think that they will be happier when they leave clinical medicine. And the truth is we need doctors. As I mentioned, I am still a full-time practicing gastroenterologist. And each time I coach a physician who thinks that their only path is to leave medicine and they decide to stay because the things that were making them so unhappy in medicine start to fade away. Not only do I help that one doctor, but I help every single patient that physician then goes on to treat moving forward. And so for me, this has been an incredible path because not only have I kind of turned these limiting beliefs on their head, I've actually proven to myself in the process that we can do anything that we set our minds to. And that's just that's a 180 from kind of where I was when I started this journey. I wish that I could transport back to me 10 years ago and be doing all of the things that I'm doing now, but 10 years younger. And the truth is, I wasn't ready for any of it because all of those, again, I don't want to call them failures, mistakes, things that I was doing that were setting me on my burnout path, led me to who I am today. I think if I was willing to hear these myself today without rolling my eyes 10 years ago, I probably would be telling myself to explore my interests more, to take more risks, and not to settle for a physician identity. I think being a doctor is an incredible opportunity. It's been an incredible gift. And I think for too many of us, we wrap too much of our identity into being a physician. And there are so many other opportunities and identities out there that we can wear simultaneous to being a physician. And I think I would just encourage myself to be more open to all of those other opportunities, right? Like, so we've talked about so many of those things that I had told myself that I didn't know and I couldn't learn and I couldn't change. And I would just remind myself to be more open to all of those opportunities.